So Stephen, you spoke about something that I think is very interesting, and that's targeting. We have the option to really refine down in terms of location, gender, age, interests, etc. But we also have the option to do kind of a sweep, just broad strokes, reaching people, maybe everybody in a particular geographic location, or anybody that follows a particular page. In your experience, do you find from a performance and from a return on investment, ROI point of view, which one of those two would perform better?
Yeah, it's a great question, but it's really tough to answer, as it depends what my client's objectives are for that specific ad.
I think sales. I think we can assume that for our clients, our objectives would be.
Yeah, so even though your objective is sales, the struggle becomes that when someone's looking to buy from you and they don't know your brand, you're going to need to do brand awareness so that they understand what your brand does, they recognize your brand, to then buy from your brand. So we always, we love to go back to the old traditional sales funnel, you know, top of funnel, middle and bottom of the funnel. So there's certain things like, what we would do, for example, is it's a new client or it's a new product, no one knows about it, then 60% of your budget would go to top of funnel efforts, and then you would break your budgets down from there. So it is really difficult from that perspective. And when you're doing top of funnel stuff, naturally it would be more broad. The targeting's broad. We don't 100% understand who our audience is yet, but we've sat around the table, we've made certain assumptions, and we're targeting them broadly. And then Facebook now allows you to do engagement audiences, which as of this week, we've been testing and it's doing extremely well. So people that have watched your Instagram videos, that have liked your content on Instagram. So that would be, now that we know that people like our content, they're engaging with us, let's target them. So yeah, it is different objectives, different brands, and it's important to test it because what happens when we narrow the targeting too much, it just narrows that audience right down and it skyrockets our costs. Because the thing is, if we're looking at, for example, a traffic campaign, which is getting clicks into your website, we're only getting 10 clicks. It costs a lot of money because our audience is only at 5,000 people, as an example, where if you're running a broad campaign, 5 million people, we're getting a lot more clicks at a cheaper CPC.
For everybody, that's a cost per click. CPC is cost per click.
So that's the thing. And we do different things. Like, for example, we might have the objective of getting clicks, but we run a reach campaign because we want to get awareness of the product. And then if clicks are a secondary or byproduct of that, it's okay. So it is a bit technical, but because we're a performance marketing agency, we do try to test different things and we do things a little bit differently. But it is, for me, both are extremely important. But I think just important to note for anyone watching this is Facebook only uses what we call third-party data. So that's the data that the user's putting into Facebook. The user's putting their location as they stay in this area. This is their birth date. These are the pages they like. So Facebook makes a lot of assumptions about that individual. That's why it's called third-party data. Where for us as performance marketing specialists, first-party data is a lot more important. Someone's first-party data would be their cell number, email address, because then we know exactly that I'm going to be able to email Steve directly and I know who Steve is. We're reaching Steve on Facebook. I'm an avid cyclist. I love mountain biking. So you can target Steve by targeting mountain biking. So that's just a quick example of third-party and first-party data. But it's just important to know that because of you can drill down on interests on Facebook, but you can't drill down extremely, if that even makes sense.
Effectively,
people, yes, people think, no, I'm going to reach this audience 100%. I know exactly that. Oh, you can't, because Facebook has certain privacy policies in place so that they protect the user that's on the platform. You know, you can't have an ad that says, "Hi, Steve," on Facebook. There's certain privacy policies in place. So that's just important. But yes, I would say interest targeting, broad strokes, age, gender, and location are always the most important when targeting, because if you're running a store and you know that most of your sales come from location X, target more of location X, you know, in that age group, in that gender. A great example as well is like, you can also target if someone's on Wi-Fi or using mobile data. If you've got a
For
brand video,
performance.
yes, target people that are on Wi-Fi, because you could be in an area where data is expensive. So yeah, there's a lot of targeting options, but for me, and the probably closing point on this is test all of them. Every brand's different,
There we
every
go.
objective's different.
And get to know your audience, get to know them online.